Most people think respect is loud. They think it comes from confidence, dominance, speaking more, or constantly proving yourself. But psychology shows us something much quieter. The behaviors that most strongly shape how people treat you, they're often the ones people barely notice. Not because they're invisible, but because they feel natural, grounded, and incredibly hard to challenge. You see, people don't actually react to what you say you deserve. People react to the silent standards you set for yourself. Today, we're looking at 7 quiet habits that change how people treat you, without confrontation, without explanation, and without forcing a thing. These aren't tricks, and it isn't manipulation. These are internal shifts that change the way others respond to you automatically. If you practice these consistently, people begin to listen differently. They hesitate before dismissing you. They adjust their tone. They start to offer more respect without even knowing. Many people feel unseen, talked over, taken lightly. They work hard, stay polite, try to be agreeable, and still feel overlooked. The common advice is to speak up more, be bolder, assert yourself. Sometimes that helps, often it backfires. Because treatment is not driven by volume, it's driven by emotional signals. Humans are constantly scanning for cues. Who is secure? Who is reactive? Who needs approval? Who trusts themselves? These judgments happen fast and unconsciously. The habits we'll cover today work because they shift those signals. They change how safe, grounded, and self-directed you appear to others. And once those signals change, behavior towards you changes with them. The core problem is not that people are disrespectful. It's that many people unknowingly teach others how to treat them. They explain too much. They rush to fill silence. They over-justify boundaries. They emotionally react to small slights. None of this is weakness. It's human, but it sends a message. I am unsure of my own position. People respond to certainty, even quiet certainty. These habits are about reclaiming that position, calmly, without drama. Habit 1. You stop explaining yourself excessively. This is one of the fastest shifts you can make. When you explain too much, you're not being clear. You're asking for permission. Long explanations often come from anxiety, from the fear of being misunderstood or judged. But here's the psychological truth. People trust clarity more than justification. When you say, I can't make it tonight, and then stop, you signal self-trust. The more you explain, the more room you give others to negotiate your boundary. You answer the question that was asked, not the imaginary objections in your head. This doesn't make you cold, it makes you clear, and clarity feels solid to others. Over time, people stop pushing. Not because you argued better, but because you stopped signaling that your decisions are up for debate. Habit 2. You pause before responding. Silence makes many people uncomfortable, so they rush to fill it. But pauses change power dynamics. When you pause before responding, you show emotional regulation. You show that you are not reactive, that you are choosing your response. This is deeply calming to others, even if they don't realize it. In conversations, people subconsciously look for who is leading emotionally. The reactive person follows. The regulated person leads. A simple pause does 3 things. It slows the interaction, it gives weight to your words, and it shows self-control. You don't need dramatic silence, just a breath, a moment. Over time, people adjust their pace to yours. They listen more carefully. They speak more thoughtfully because you've shifted the emotional tempo. Habit 3. You don't rush to be liked. This habit is subtle but powerful. When someone is trying to be liked, it shows. They agree quickly. They laugh too fast. They soften opinions before stating them. Again, human. Understandable. But psychology is clear here.
People respect those who value alignment over approval. This doesn't mean being rude or distant. It means being real without urgency. You don't need everyone to agree with you. You don't need to win people over immediately. When you stop chasing comfort, others feel it. They sense that your self-worth is not dependent on their reaction. And paradoxically, this makes you more likable because relaxed presence feels safe. People trust those who are not trying to extract validation from the interaction.
Habit 4. You hold your boundaries without emotion. Boundaries are not speeches, they're behaviors. Most people weaken their boundaries by adding emotion. They apologize too much, they justify, they get defensive. A quiet boundary sounds like this: "That doesn't work for me." And then consistency. No anger, no explanation loop, no resentment. At first, some people may test this, not because they dislike you, but because the signal is new. When you hold the line calmly, something important happens. People recalibrate. They realize you're not negotiating your self-respect. You are not asking them to understand. You are simply informing them. This shifts treatment fast.
Habit 5. You lower your need to be understood. This one is counterintuitive. Many people want to be deeply understood, so they explain their intentions, feelings, and inner world constantly. But not everyone needs access to your inner life. When you release the need to be fully understood, you gain stability. You stop chasing emotional validation. You stop correcting every misinterpretation. This signals confidence in your own reality. People who are secure don't need constant clarification, and others respond by respecting that space. They listen more carefully when you do speak, because you've stopped oversharing.
Habit 6. You move at your own pace. Rushing communicates pressure. Pressure communicates insecurity. When you move at your own pace, speak at your own speed, and decide without urgency, people adapt to you. This applies everywhere: conversations, work, relationships. You don't rush to answer messages. You don't rush decisions. You don't rush emotional reactions. This creates an unspoken hierarchy of calm. People treat calm as authority, not loud authority, grounded authority.
Habit 7. You accept outcomes without chasing control. This is the deepest habit. When you accept that you cannot control how others feel, think, or respond, you stop performing. You say what's true. You do what aligns. You let reactions land where they land. This removes desperation from your presence. Desperation repels. Acceptance stabilizes. People feel when you're not trying to manage them emotionally, and that freedom shifts how they treat you. They stop testing, they stop pushing, they stop dismissing, because you've stopped needing anything from them.
These habits don't change you overnight. They change how you carry yourself, quietly, consistently. You don't announce them. You don't defend them. You live them. And over time, people adjust, not because you demanded respect, but because you embodied it. If this resonated, sit with it. Pick one habit. Practice it for a week. Small internal shifts create large external changes. That's how real influence works. If you recognize yourself in any of these habits, comment below. Share which one you are going to practice this week. And if you want to go deeper into how psychology shapes respect, confidence, and self-control, watch the next video on this channel. Thanks for watching. If this helped you think more clearly or feel more grounded, take a second to like the video, share it with someone who might need it. Subscribe if you want more calm, practical psychology like this.